I think it's safe to say that Alien Isolation was one of the finest horror games of that particular year, as well as a very pleasant surprise. Of course, previous to its release, Alien games had kind of had a bit of a bad time, so while I was hopeful, I was kind of, dubious, but at the same time, really hoping that it would be good, and of course, when it came out, it was fantastic. And it seems that Sega might just be considering a virtual reality experience for this excellent game. Now, of course, when you think virtual reality games, for a lot of people, one of the first things you think of is undoubtedly horror games. That is, of course, if you're brave enough. Personally, I love the idea of putting on a VR headset and, exploring these environments, picking around corners and really getting yourself immersed in that experience. And what better way to do it than with a great horror game such as Alien Isolation? And it seems that Sega are kind of thinking the same thing as me, as they do seem to be considering official VR experiences, and Alien Isolation is rightly near the top of that list. Now, this particular burgeoning of hope comes from Jürgen Post, who is the European boss over at Sega. And he spoke with MCV about a fair few things. I will link the full interview in the description below. I suggest you give it a read. There's quite a bit he discussed other than VR. But let's focus on this particular statement, shall we, where he says, quote, "VR has caught the whole company's attention. We have a lot of VR kits in the office and people are playing with it. We're exploring ways to release games. We've not announced anything, but we are very close to making an announcement. We did Alien Isolation about 3 years ago on Oculus Rift. It was a demo and that was bloody scary. To bring that to VR would be a dream, and dreams can come true. VR will take time, but we will start releasing some titles just to learn. It's a platform for the future." So, of course, this is by no means a promise that we're going to be getting Alien Isolation on VR, or even that we're going to be getting any VR games, but if they're going to be releasing some titles, quote-unquote, just to learn, then what better place to start than with Alien Isolation? There was that demo. It did need some work to really be fully optimized for virtual reality, but, take that game, fully develop it for the platform, maybe make some changes so you don't get the motion sickness problems and yada yada yada, and it would be fantastic. So I'm definitely happy that Sega are considering this, because this would be a pretty big boon for any virtual reality headset. Hopefully it's not exclusive, because I've said before that I find VR exclusives a tad silly, given that it's just another sort of way of viewing the game. But yes, my hopes are now burgeoned. Hopefully Sega don't let me down. But I'm curious from you guys, what horror games or games in general would you like to see make their way to the virtual reality platform? I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions as always, and thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.